What's up, everybody, and welcome to Growing Up Gaming, your monthly podcast where we meet a new person of the internet to discuss their childhood with gaming and how it inspired their lives today. My name is Mitch Power. Again, thank you guys so much for returning each and every month to the show. I hope you're subscribing there on iTunes or Google Play or Spotify or YouTube. If you're listening to me on any of those methods or any other method out there, I appreciate it. This week on the show, we have our guest. His name is Jake Deal. I met this man with the help of Twitter and Kyle Stevenson. He was nice enough to send me Jake's info and ask me to reach out to him to see if he'd like to be a guest, and he was very nice enough to come on the show and share all of his stories. If you want to be on the show just like he was, send me a tweet at MitchPower1116 on Twitter or at the podcast Twitter page, which is at GUG Podcast on Twitter. Again, I do want to apologize again. For whatever reason, my Skype software has recently changed without me realizing it, so the audio quality on this episode is not as good as it has in the past, but I am going to get that rectified. So again, without further ado, let's get things started with Jake Deal.
Do you remember what initially got you started playing games? Was it a family member? Was it a friend? Was it some magazine you saw? Something? What was it that got you started?
I would say it was probably my dad and my brothers, kind of a combination of the two. Really kind of... Sorry. My first really thing growing up was I think I grew up playing in the arcade. There's a pizza parlor in my small town.
Nice.
I grew up in a small town in Idaho, like really small for the first 6 years of my life, and we didn't really have much video game stuff. But I remember I would go to daycare, and I think they had a Sega Saturn.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So I think I played a couple, like the first level of Sonic was all I could beat. And then I remember a neighbor had an SNES and I played Super Mario World. But other than that, I didn't really play any home games as much. But it was, my dad was a big Mac guy. So he got a bunch of LucasArts games. And that's probably where most of my gaming background really started, was playing various LucasArts games on the Mac. It was like Star Wars ones, but there was it was like Rebel Assault, I think. And there was Indiana Jones, Fate of Atlantis. There was all these other things. There was Full Throttle. There was Day of the Tentacle.
Right. Yeah, that's a lot of man, I feel bad because a lot of those adventure games, especially on PC, I never touched. I hear such good things about them and stuff, how awesome they are and whatever. But I know they got remade for PS4 not long ago. But
I was stoked when they did that. I was beyond stoked because they were such a big part of my childhood, and I could never play those again because they were back on a old Mac. They were on these CDs, but the other thing was I could never beat them. Obviously, I could never solve the puzzles as a 5 or 6 year old kid.
Right.
In Day of the Tentacle, there's a puzzle where you have to get it to rain, and in order to do that, you have to wash a wagon in the 1700s.
That makes sense, right?
Yeah, and I listened to Tim Schafer when they did the remaster. He did a commentary, and he was like, "Yeah, this puzzle sucks." You were like, it's general logic that every time you want to wash your car, it starts to rain. That was kind of what we inferred, and we just assumed the player would kind of figure that out, but I don't think they did.
Yeah, because that makes a lot of sense. I remember there were games back then. I felt I remember Myst.
I was going to say Myst was
that was really, because I didn't really have too much experience playing PC games that much, but I remember going to my uncle's house and he had Myst. And I remember just I don't know the fuck to do. I have no idea. And I mean, of course, I'm a kid who's I'm sure there was things I could read to give me explanations of things, and all that shit.
I helped with a yard sale when I was around 14 years old, and they had the original Myst strategy guide there, and I was like, "Can I have this?" And they're like, "Yeah, nobody wants that." And I was like, "Heck yeah, I'll take it." And so I took it home, and I got out the old laptop, the old MacBook that was my dad's, and I put in a copy of Myst, and I beat Myst when I was 14, finally. But I remember when I was growing up, my dad and my cousins spent all night beating it, and that I wasn't there for that, but I just remember the story because like my mom was like they were all night trying to solve it because it was like they'd never played anything like that before. But like that background is why it kind of sculpted me for being a big fan of stories and games, because they kind of have all these great narratives. Like Day of the Tentacle is like one of my favorite games because it's like the story is so bonkers because they send the three teenagers, whatever, to the future, the past, and the present of this same mansion, and it's just bonkers. And there's like tentacles, and it's a bonkers game. But yeah, it's crazy that like George Lucas was like, yeah, I'll put that under my name, but they did it. Yeah.
Yeah, like those, and also too, I mean, like those types of adventure games were super. I won't say, yeah, they're pretty much popular on PC because I mean, obviously they weren't coming to consoles ever.
Yeah,
just because those were more point and click, and not saying you couldn't have done it with a controller like a D-pad and buttons, but they just seem to shine better on PC. So I'm trying to remember. I think like it was like Myst, Riven, and some other game. I can't remember the name of it, but there was
Riven was the second one. There was like 5 of them.
Yeah. And I remember I'm almost positive one of them went to Xbox. I just don't remember.
Oh, I would believe that 100%.
Like, I think, man, I'll have to look it up. But I remember, like, I'm pretty sure one of them came to Xbox. And again, like, it was just a matter of me being too dumb to, like, give a shit or care or figure it out.
Yeah.
But I remember that game just looking real pretty for the time. And it was awesome. Like, there was a lot of cool, like, adventure games that were on PC. But again, I didn't get a chance to check them out. I know my brother-in-law played, I think it was Grim Fandango, is like one of his favorite games. And he was all about it when it came to PS4. He was so fucking psyched for it. And I'm just like, that's cool. I don't have that like nostalgia for it, so I honestly have no idea.
It's great. I had never played it before. They did the remaster, and I was like, when they were like, it's a lost LucasArts game, I was like, I'm on that because I love LucasArts and but what was crazy was I couldn't ever like get very far in any of those puzzle games, those point and clicks.
Right.
But it was funny because most of them, like Tim Schafer worked on a lot of them, but what was interesting was Ron Gilbert worked on Maniac Mansion, which Day of the Tentacle is technically a sequel to.
Okay.
Which Maniac Mansion was back on, I think, the NES or SNES.
Right.
And that was like, if you heard Thimbleweed Park, that's kind of like the spiritual successor of that. Okay. But Ron Gilbert, after he left LucasArts, he started Humongous Entertainment. And so that was Pajama Sam and Spy Fox and Freddy Fish and Putt Putt. And they were like kids point and click adventure games. And I was all over those. I could beat those games because they were like way easier.
Right.
It was somebody told me that they ported them all to Steam, and I had no idea. So like just a couple months ago, I downloaded all of them. There was a Steam sale, and I got them all for like $60. It was like nice. It's crazy. But yeah, my background is really it's just kind of weird, all over the place. Because like I mean, the big thing was I think my parents got like an original Game Boy at a garage sale, and my brothers and I shared. But eventually they were like, Jacob needs his own, so they got me a red Game Boy Pocket with Pokemon Red, which was just
seemed fitting.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, I couldn't make it past like Misty because I was still terrible.
Well, I mean, the other thing too, depending on who you chose as your starter Pokemon, that first gym or second gym could kick you right in the mouth because it's just like, oh yeah, I can't just train this one starter I got. I actually like train other people.
Yeah, it was like I love Pokemon. I loved watching Pokemon, but I didn't really like playing Pokemon was the thing. But I just didn't understand RPG mechanics because no one explained that to me. But really, I mean, the biggest thing that happened in gaming was when I was 6 or 7, and we moved from the small town in Idaho to Wenatchee, where I live now. Into Christmas 2000, my brothers basically campaigned. I had 2 older brothers. They campaigned pretty heavily to my parents that they wanted a PlayStation 2. And my mom was like, no, 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 we don't do video games. No, no, no. And eventually my dad found this bundle on eBay because my dad loved doing eBay. And it was funny. It was the thick OG PS2, and then it was a DualShock 2 controller, a like a crystal DualShock 1 controller, and then a Mad Catz like crystal controller. And of course, I ended up with the Mad Catz because I was the youngest.
Of course, yeah. If you're youngest, you get worse selection.
Yeah, I mean, it had turbo. I mean, but like, yeah, it was terrible.
You gotta love like how like third party controllers try to make up shit for like we have turbo. Like, yeah, that's I guess cool because like
this is so much more fun.
It's so much better, even though it's like completely shaped differently and
it is. It was terrible. It's like I remember because the square triangle, the square triangle, circle, and X cross or whatever. They were like drawn differently on the buttons.
Right.
It was fascinating, but it was a 3 bundle of games. It was Star Wars Starfighter, because of course we love Star Wars,
right.
Which is not a good game. I mean, it was kind of like a spiritual successor to the X-Wing, but it was on PS2.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then there was Sky Odyssey, which is another flying game that my brother Josh loved. And then we got Madden 2001, which my brother John loved, but I had no really interest in sports, so I never really played it, but I would watch him play it.
So there wasn't really any games that you had gotten in that bundle that were kind of like jumping out at you.
Eventually we started like renting games. I remember I rented the Donald Duck game, whatever, that was like terrible, and I still couldn't because I was just too young. I mean, the first time I really could start like beating games was Jak and Daxter. We eventually got Jak and Daxter, and like I love those games to this day. I've gotten the platinum on Jak and Daxter 1 on PS3, Vita, and PS4.
Oh wow!
I like Naughty Dog like meant so much, and like I remember we would get PlayStation games because PS2 could play them, and I remember we got Crash Bandicoot at one point, and I was like, "This game sucks. I don't like this at all."
Hey, it's okay. I said that when it first came out. I didn't like it either. Like I played Crash, but I didn't see like the giant appeal of Crash Bandicoot. Like,
yeah, it was it was terrible. Sorry.
No, you're fine. No, it was just like you said. It was just not that like the whole camera like running towards the camera because that's real fucking fun, right?
Yeah, no,
that's really bad.
Yeah,
I just looked up real fast. Myst 3 Exile went to the original Xbox, which is so fucking bananas because it's just like Myst out of nowhere went to Xbox, and it was an Ubisoft game. Like I think Ubisoft was the one that brought it to Xbox. Just like I remember getting it because I worked at a video game store during the time like Xbox, PlayStation 2, and all that shit were out. And Myst 4 came out on Xbox too. That's fucking. I remember these happening, and I remember just trying them, and I was just like, "No, these still aren't for me. Like, I just still can't get into this shit."
Yeah,
but again, PC, it's just way easier. It really is, and it sounds dumb because some games are just better with a keyboard and mouse. But I mean, adventure games, point and click games, literally point and click, kind of easier.
That's like I wasn't playing like Doom or anything. I was just playing these like point and click games. But I remember we had Tomb Raider for the Mac, and we played or Tomb Raider. I think the first 3 of them came to Mac. Yeah, like I said, Mac family. So obviously our selection of games was kind of limited. But I was like, Tomb Raider, and we'd get that, we'd play that, and that was.
You also got people got to remember that too. Is like, I'm not saying Mac. Even today, Mac isn't like super widely supported, but it's completely more supported than it used to be.
Oh, it's way more supported.
It used to be just like Mac did everything except play games. Like it did so much cool shit. It did video editing and audio processing and all this graphic design, all this cool shit, and then like gaming.
I was like, nah, we're not doing that.
Yeah, we're not going to do that. Now, like, thankfully, like, some companies, like, I think the real big games, like, they just know, like, we can't just fucking say no to this. You know what I mean? Like, they have to be like, yes, we have to support, Fortnite, WoW, Sims, like, super big PC shit. Like, I'm assuming League of Legends, I think, might be Mac compatible.
But, probably.
I mean, like, you have to have, I know Left 4 Dead was. So there's games that are just like out there, like, yes, you have to support Mac now just because of the install base. But back then, dude, they didn't have to do shit with Mac because Mac was like such a small install base and a fraction of what people play, especially like the people that owned a Mac. And then if you dice that into people who own a Mac who play games, it was like
exactly
the tiniest of slither.
Tiniest, yeah. I remember we did have Halo 1 though. That was the fascinating.
Yeah.
Was Halo came to Mac. The original did. And so I played the heck out of that, but I mean, I had to downgrade the settings like all the way to get it to function on the old iMac. But yeah, it was great. I loved the original Halo. That's probably the one I have the closest tie to.
Well, what people don't understand too is that Halo, before it was an Xbox property and budget, like they were making it for Mac, and it was it was a completely different type of game because like there was I can't remember if it was at a conference or something, but like Steve Jobs showed Halo.
Yeah, and it was Bungie. Yeah, it showed it off. Yeah,
right.
And everyone was like, "What the heck is this?" Yeah,
like. That's just crazy as shit to think about. And then now, like, I'm glad Microsoft, Microsoft, I'm sure, is also glad they funded that money. Yeah, that game, had that game not come out on Xbox, we might not be talking about Xbox at all. Like, that game made that system for sure.
Fascinating enough, I've never owned an Xbox. Not one, not a 360, and not an OG. I've just never, I've mostly been a PlayStation guy. But,
you're breaking my heart right now.
I know, dude. I need to get one. I might get one on the cheap since they're.
If anything, just get a digital only one. Get Game Pass.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking of getting an Xbox One SAT edition.
Yeah. God damn it! It's sad that's the acronym for it because it's like Xbox One all
S,
digital.
All digital. Yeah.
My favorite
it's so
part
good.
is they did that. They did what is it? Giant Bomb every year at E3 does like an awesome interview with Phil Spencer.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's great because they just, they don't bullshit him. They talk to him. They're like, no, what's going on with this? What's going on with this? And then literally they brought up Xbox One. They said SAT edition. He's like, yeah, we realized that. I was like, God damn it. If you realized it, do something. Like, don't just say Xbox One all digital. Don't go fucking Xbox One S all digital. Fucking just say all digital. But you have to specify S because it's not an X. And it's like, God damn it. But I mean, at least they had the balls to come out with an all-digital console. I know that they weren't the first before everybody jumps down my throat. Fucking PSP Go. I get it.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I get it. But home console, they're like, no, we'll go all digital. But no, just get Game Pass. I promise you'll like Game Pass literally has every good Xbox game you could ever think of. And that's all you need.
Yeah. Their backwards compatibility is incredible, the fact that they pulled that off. And that was... The fascinating thing was they originally didn't think they could do that, and they just kind of figured out that they could.
Right.
Which was fascinating.
I just love that shit because like that E3, like that's one of my favorite E3 moments ever is when they announced that because my favorite is like there's people that look at the teleprompters before the person on stage says the announcement.
Oh, yeah.
So like right as they were about to say it, some dude saw what they were going to say and just fucking went bananas. He's like, and it's so good because there's just one dude who's losing his shit before Phil actually says Xbox backward compatibility. Like one dude's fucking losing his complete mind, and then he says it, and the whole place just fucking loses it. And I remember just everybody I was like in a circle with, like just talking about games. I was like, can you fucking believe what they just said?
It's so smart.
I mean, like, Jesus.
Microsoft's so smart where they're like, our goal isn't to sell Xboxes as much as it is to get the software everywhere we can. Like the fact like the entire Master Chief Collection is coming, and Xbox Game Pass is coming to Steam, right?
Xbox Game Pass is going to PC, right? Yeah, it's out on PC now. I mean, again, like because Microsoft realized probably by about 10 years ago, I would say that subscriptions are where money is. They turned Office into a subscription and they fucking make stupid amounts of money off that. And they're like, hey, subscriptions. And then Game Pass happened. And then they went, hey, here's what we're going to do. And then fucking millions of people signed up for it immediately. And they're like, oh, more of a subscription. Let's do this. And now everything they're going to do is a subscription. But again, they're like, if you want to play it on Xbox, sure. If you want to play it on PC, we don't give a fuck. Can you sign up for Game Pass? Thank you. That's like all they care about.
Yeah, I mostly want to get an Xbox to play the exclusives because I'm a bit of a trophy hunter myself. So I try to play most of my games on that ecosystem. But
Oh no, that's fine. I mean, same thing for me.
I've never played Gears of War, and I really want to.
Gears is quite fun, and yeah, literally you can play all 4 on Game Pass, like all of them.
Yeah.
Every Halo's on Game Pass. Every Gears is on Game Pass. Sunset Overdrive, Quantum Break.
Oh my God, Sunset Overdrive!
It's a fucking great game.
That broke my heart when Insomniac Ted Price showed up at Microsoft at the E3, and he was like, "Hey guys," I was like, "What is he doing there?"
Yeah,
you do this to us, like I love Spyro, OG Spyro.
Right.
Like, we're not talking about the after Activision got it and did
right after Activision got it and destroyed it. Yeah, was the good ones.
The original trilogy. Like when they remastered those last year, oh my God, I got all those, platinumed all those because I love the original Spyro games, and I got those PlayStation discs, played them on PS2. I remember I'm just kind of bouncing all over. I'm just trying to remember things.
No, you're good. No,
I would say,
like I said, just go get a SAT edition Xbox and get Game Pass. And I mean, again, you got to stop playing some PlayStation shit so you can get through the Xbox stuff. But
who calls it shit?
Yeah, well, he's gonna put this shit down. Like again, that's how I get though. I get certain games. Like example, I got Assassin's Creed Odyssey, amazing game, like
great,
ridiculously good game. I played it for an hour, and then I played something else because I'm stupid. That game's like 70 hours long.
Oh, I know. I've put probably 120 into it.
Yeah, exactly. So then I was like, all right, cool. After the holidays, I'm all free. I'm going to play this. I'm going to put the time into it. And then Apex came out. And I'm just like, fuck.
Yeah.
Like, Apex is such a good game. And I was like, God damn it, this sucks. Now, as soon as Apex season ended, and there's that gap between season 1 and season 2, then literally I was like, all right, cool. Now I'm going to play some Assassin's Creed. Like, you have to like put certain games down just to play other things. But the problem is Tuesday, season 2 starts for Apex. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm probably going to put AC back on the shelf for a little bit because you got to get Apex season.
Yeah, like I had, the last time I kind of had that feeling was when I was on the Destiny train, but I kind of I fell off of live service and multiplayer games as much, except for like, I play like Smash and Mario Kart with my girlfriend. Smash Ultimate is like maybe one of the best like multiplayer games ever. It's so easy to pick up and play.
Absolutely.
Like she loses like every time, but she still has a good time playing.
Right.
Like it's like I could go easy on her, but like I'm not going to. It's like eventually like sometimes it gets really close because like I'll try a random different character that I don't normally play as, and like I'm terrible at them. Like, God, who was it that I tried that was terrible? I think it was one of the like 70 different Fire Emblem characters that I have no idea who they are.
There's like 900 Fire Emblem characters.
There's so many.
Yeah, I don't know them, and I'm just like, I feel dumb. And then people who play Fire Emblem, it's like, no,
they're so important.
Yeah, they're like, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. I don't need to know that. Like, but also too at the same time, like, I'm sure your brothers when you were growing up, they didn't go easy on you.
Oh no. I'm trying to think. I mean, that's the thing. You know how everybody played GoldenEye on N64? What we did was we played Agent Under Fire and Nightfire on PlayStation 2.
PlayStation 2.
Those
Not
games,
the same kind of experience.
They're great though. Like on Agent Under Fire, you could have jetpacks on,
right?
And then you could set low gravity, and so you'd literally just be in the air forever. but like it's so easy to shoot each other because you're just up there. There's like nothing else to shoot. It's like my brother was just we just kill each other. I would like always lose, but what I loved was in Nightfire they introduced bots, so we could set up bots, and we always played as the bad guys because they had more guy characters. Like literally, the good guys had Bond, and then all the Bond girls. Like there was no other guy characters besides Bond, and we're like, no, I want to play as the ninja or the snow guard or like all these different characters, and we would play that forever. We played there was a level called Skyrail, which had a cable car that went around the map, and we'd like go in there and we'd kill Bond and the Bond girls. It's ridiculous when you think about it, but it was tons of fun. Like I would say the Bond games, and then Tony Hawk probably was.
Dude, yeah.
Like I played the heck out of all the PS2 Tony Hawks. THPS 3, 4, Thug 1 and 2, Thaw, and even Project 8. I love Project 8.
I like how you go like so psyched, and then you go even Project 8 because that's where they start. Like I won't say they got bad before that, but yeah, I remember because dude, I don't you probably. Everybody else has heard it if they've subscribed to the show, but like I quit playing video games because of skateboarding. Like Tony Hawk was so good. I was like, how's skateboarding actually? Like, can I actually skateboard?
I could barely do an ollie. I think I did it once, and it was like, have you seen the movie Mid-90s?
No, I know the movie you're talking about, and I've wanted to see it, but I just haven't had a chance to see it yet.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of like an indie art film, but there is a scene where the kid spends like all night trying to learn how to ollie or trying to kickflip, and he spends all night and eventually he does it. And he's like, yeah!
He just fucking loses his mind.
Yeah, he's like screaming it to no one, and his mom's like, what are you doing? it's probably like, I'd say it's probably the best scene in the movie, but like, you know, it's called Mid-90s because there's all these references, and so it reminded me when I was growing up, but that's what I associated with skateboarding. Was my older brother was way better at it, but I was, and ironically, my dad was super good at it. Like he could.
What the hell?
Yeah, like my dad, like in the 70s, he would ride like those little ones, the little.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Little skateboards, and he could do the thing where he could ride it up to a chair, jump over the chair, and land back on the skateboard. Wow. I was like, I could never do that.
Like, damn, Dad, you're making me look bad right now. What's up with that?
Well, I remember my grandma would take. They told me that my grandma would take his skateboards away if they wanted him to behave because he loved doing it.
Right. I remember when I got my skateboard, I thought something was wrong with my board because I couldn't ollie. Like I thought something was wrong with the board, not me. I was like, obviously this is not this hard. And I remember like I told my buddy, I'm like, I think there's something wrong with my board. And he's like, okay. And then he came over one day and he's like, let me see your board. And he's like, he just looked at it. It looks fine. They just ollied first try. He's like, no, it's fine. I'm like, motherfucker. Like I remember it took me, I think 6 months to learn how to ollie. But then every other trick after that took like a day. Like for whatever reason, my brain just couldn't figure out fucking ollies. And then once it did, everything else clicked. I was like, oh, okay. So this isn't, I was learning a new trick like every other day. I was like, oh, this is just, I felt real stupid for a little bit there. But no, I get that. You know, it's funny, but like with Tony Hawk, that was the only game I was playing. Like I didn't give a shit to play any other video game. I was just like, what's the new Tony Hawk like? And
I would ask for those for every Christmas.
Oh yeah, and they came out every fucking year too. Like
I never, they did, but I did not get to Tony Hawk's American Wasteland because my mom looked at it and it was like rated teen, but it was like the stuff they wrote in the ESRBs was like really inappropriate, and she was like, I was like. You weren't paying attention to Thug 2 where Bam Margera's dad was walking around in a diaper the entire game? Like right. That game was nuts. Like, yeah, like she just didn't know. Like, I would be like, I want this game. It's like she wasn't paying attention. But I remember there was one year where she paid attention during Christmas because my brother wanted Prince of Persia: Warrior Within.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's the one where it got dark as fuck.
It got really dark as hell. And so she looked at it and she's like, no, I'm not getting that.
Oh my God. How shitty is that, by the way? To be like a teen, playing a teen game and being jazzed as shit, and then the second one comes out and goes, by the way, this is way more fucked up, and it's way more, and it's mature rated now, and you're like, awesome, I can't play it now, guys, because you went that direction.
Yeah, because like Sands of Time was so good, and it was like, that the time mechanic was so revolutionary.
Right.
I remember when I watched In the Game the movie, how like Jonathan Blow, who did Braid, like said that was the key influence behind the time mechanic in Braid was Sands of Time. But yeah.
That's funny. I just looked up American Wasteland and it's rated teen and it says blood, crude humor, language, suggestive themes, and violence. Holy shit.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there was like tons of, you know, I don't remember like half of that game, you know. But what I remember was there was no loading screens because it was you took the tunnels in between the levels. It was like, oh, you hit those really well, those 3 mile long tunnels. Yeah.
I remember that. I remember that shit. You're right, because they had these giant tunnels that were just basically a grind rail in the tunnel, and that's
exactly. It was like it was Batman Arkham Asylum before Batman Arkham Asylum. Guys.
It was the elevators before Mass. It was the tunnel, like the elevators.
Oh, it was elevators. Oh my gosh. Oh,
yeah.
effect.
That's
But
so fucking funny. I forgot about those tunnels. I was like, God damn, these tunnels are real big.
yeah, because like on the back of the box it says like no loading zone. And,
Right.
like, yeah, it was. Oh man, dude, God, I love the
That's
PS2.
so
I
funny.
wish those games were easier to access.
Right. Oh,
Like
well,
when
the best
they
part
did,
about those games, and the best parts were the goddamn the soundtracks, and that's why they're so hard to find.
yeah,
Like that's why they're
that's
so
right.
hard to do again. But yeah, like I remember liking Tony Hawk Underground 1. Underground 2 is where I was like, ugh, this is turning into Jackass. Because that was like,
It's basically Jackass.
it's basically
not even
Jackass.
Tony
It's like,
Hawk.
oh,
Yeah.
Steve-O can ride a mechanical bull. Fun. I don't give a fuck about
Oh my
that.
god, dude! You can play as the guy named Polly, and he was in a wheelchair. And
Yeah,
that's right. Every level had a different like non-skateboard vehicle
right.
because you could drive in Tony Hawk's Underground 1, and they had cars that you could drive, but then they also had like special characters. And I remember you
It
went
was
to
basically the Jackass crew in Underground 2. Like,
yeah, it was you went to Skatopia, and you could play as the Bigfoot who was on a chainsaw powered skateboard. That when he
right, because that makes a lot of sense.
when he did a manual up a hill, it shot him up a hill because the chainsaw would cut the grass. I was like, Neversoft was just had so much fun making those games.
Right.
If you think about it, but
Yeah, I remember Underground 2, and then American Wasteland was like, okay. Like, I was like, I guess this is okay. This is not bad. And then by Project 8, I remember getting a demo for 360 for Project 8, and I was just like, officially done. I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, I think, obviously, that was the last one before they went just full.
they did
stupid.
they did a game called Proving Ground, which
Right.
was like story based, and you picked like one of three people, but it was more focused on park editors.
Right, and I did not touch Proving Ground.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Like, I didn't touch it at all. And then they went just completely nuts with all the goddamn boards you ride on. Ride and
they did
shred.
right. Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, Tony Hawk Motion. I'm looking at the Tony Hawk games right now. There was a Tony Hawk DS game. I remember they put out, it had to have been Underground 2, one of those on DS.
It was with Wasteland, and it was Tony Hawk's American Skateland.
That's what it was.
And it was the 8-ball was the skate in the logo.
Yes. So dumb.
It's terrible. Yeah.
Like, I remember that. I remember like there was and you could so when you did your own special, of course the DS just wanted to do everything, right? So like it had touchscreen, it had a microphone, so they wanted you to use all of these different things, right? I remember they allowed you to do a voice recording while you were doing a special, and it would just repeat that voice recording over and over and over and over. And I will not tell you what me and my friends said because they were the worst things a human could say. It was just, and if Mike is listening, he knows exactly what he said, and we just laughed about it because we still bring it up to this day. But that's never going out in public because there are some awful things.
I mean, that's like the classic like naming Gary in Pokemon. It's like I'm naming him Poop Face. So
yeah,
like,
exactly. No,
so I was like, it's your rival, Poop Face. Yeah.
But yeah, dude, those I remember like the Tony Hawk games, like I said, they were super fun. I felt bad for people on 64 because they got just screwed. They got 1 and 2 like way later.
Oh, they got 1 and 2. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like that. I pretty sure. Yeah, they never got 3.
No, 3 was next gen. Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember
at the time.
Here's how it was. I was that guy because I didn't care to get a PS2, right? I just didn't care at all about video games. I was just like, no, I just want to keep playing, this. And I remember being that guy going into fucking like Walmart and going, can I get Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 on PlayStation 1? And they're like, what? I'm like, yeah,
it's so sad.
It was sad, but I mean, whatever. I'm looking right now, and
it happens.
Pro Skater 3 actually ended up coming out on 64.
But 4 never. Pro Skater 3 came out on 64.
Yeah, it did. It was made by a different company, not Neversoft. But then it started coming out on GameCube. Pro Skater 4 never came out on PlayStation. Or no. Pro Skater 4 never came out on 64. It did come out on PlayStation. And I remember, again, I was that clown going into buying PS1 games when PS2 was so out and everybody was playing that. But then I started working at the game store when like Underground 1 and 2 came out, and that's when 2 came out, and I was like, yeah, I get a PS2 and I get to play Underground, and it was fun. But
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I mean, of course, PS2 was where the Lego games started. I remember I got Lego Star Wars 1 for my birthday. I think I was like 9 or 10. And dude, like, just like, I tweeted out a few days ago. I think the Lego games are so much better than most licensed games that's why most licensed games jumped off consoles and stick to mobile mostly, because they're so much better. They're so good. Like, I play like all of them.
Yeah, the Lego games I will give credit for, because not only does it get people into gaming who aren't into gaming as much.
Yeah,
but it's fun for literally everybody. And I mean, even if you're like a hardcore gamer who likes all that shit, it's just stupid fun. Like, it's fun. It can be entertaining, and I get if you don't want to just keep doing them over and over and over again. Like,
yeah, like I have Marvel Heroes 2, and I barely started it because I was like, this just feels like Marvel Heroes 1. Like,
right.
And they keep coming out with games like nonstop. But I'm stoked for Skywalker Saga. I think that's going to be.
I think that's cool that they're putting it all in one for sure. Like,
well, it's brand new. It's not the original games. It's new versions of it, and it's going to be all tied together with an open world. Yes.
Okay,
it's brand new.
Then.
Yeah,
that's a lot nicer.
And it's going to be all 9 movies. It's because like the last one was Force Awakens, which like was literally just Force Awakens, and then it had like bonus missions that were like
they had the mission where it told you about C-3PO's arm.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. I remember that. And then because they never did one for Last Jedi.
They did do one for Last Jedi. I have a lot of theories why.
Yeah, a lot of people were too thrilled with that movie. Dude, by the way, if you were too thrilled with that movie, stop.
Yeah.
Everybody, the problem is like, Star Wars is so big, you will never make anybody happy. Like,
no,
you will make everyone happy.
I love Solo: Star Wars Story, and nobody likes that movie. I thought it was
a great movie. Like, I took my, I have one cousin who like loves Star Wars, and no one else in her family gives a shit about Star Wars for whatever reason. And like, I remember when I went to visit Texas, and she's younger than me, by like 10 years, like more than that. And I was like, hey, have you seen Solo yet? And she's like, no. And I'm like, I held off seeing Solo so I could see it with you because I had a feeling nobody would take you to go see it. Well, let's go see Solo before I leave. So we did. And we both walked out. And we were like, that was a good movie.
It was great.
I was like, that was a good movie. Why did everyone on the internet fucking hate it?
They're like, he's not Harrison Ford. And they're also like, there wasn't enough Lando. And it was like, it wasn't called Lando, a Star Wars story. I love Donald Glover too, but it's not about him.
I was saying, like, it was a good movie, people. Like, just stop. It was fun. Like, I didn't have any problems with it.
I would say a lot of it was probably around the fact that Lord and Miller got kicked off. And then they're geniuses because like Into the Spider-Verse is like incredible.
It is so good. But I mean, again, people. I'm sure there's people out there who hate Endgame, and you can all go die in a fire because Endgame
is so good.
It was so good. Just like, but again, it's the same thing with video games too, though. I mean, people get all nitpicky and shit, but like, at the same time, I've gotten to the point where I don't want to overhype shit too much because there's always the risk of you basically getting disappointed. It's like super easy to be disappointed.
Yeah, there are exceptions. There are exceptions to the rule. Like I'm slowly playing through The Last of Us with showing my girlfriend it, and it's like you can't like hype that game up enough. Like I'm just telling her, it's just gonna be sad. You're gonna be sad the whole time, but it's gonna be good because the story is just so good. But
it's just a matter of like certain games, like especially with like new games. Like I looked at Call of Duty, for example. I haven't given a shit about a Call of Duty game in quite some time. I saw Modern Warfare, and I read like an article talking about how it's
really fucked up.
It's really fucked up, basically.
Yeah.
And when I heard really fucked up, and the fact that it's cross-platform play, like cross-play across all of them.
Oh my gosh.
Sold. I was like, I don't want to see.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I don't want to see anything else. I'll just go buy the game.
I love Modern Warfare. The Modern Warfare trilogy is like
Modern Warfare trilogy is great, but then when I heard one of the guys that did something, one of the previews or whatever said it made No Russian look tame. And I'm like, what
Yeah,
in the fuck?
Yeah, that's what they said. Yeah,
Like,
they're like,
what?
it's really.
And again, I don't want to get myself overhyped, but at the same time, I'm like, bro, no Russian as an adult man, like with a conscience and like knowing how fucked up what you're doing was. I was like, I remember like just playing it. I'm like, what's the big deal? And then I get to that part, and he's like, all right, no Russian. And I'm like, oh my god, you really want me to shoot down all these fucking people that are doing nothing?
But
the
thing is, though, if you don't shoot anyone, you can still go through the level. You can go through that entire level without killing anyone.
Right. And I'm just like, but again, like the situation they put you in, you're like, this is fucked up, man.
It is.
Like,
well, I remember it was similar in Modern Warfare 3. There's the whole scene where there's a bomb that goes off in London, and it, just like with No Russian, it gives you the option beforehand. Like, there's a really graphic scene. You can choose to not have it showed or have it showed. And that is like, it's like a family like filming themselves like in London, and then like this bomb goes off and like they're like screaming, and it's like horrified, and they're like, I remember, but I was like, yeah, there's nowhere near. I didn't think it was anywhere near as bad as No Russian, because No Russian actually played. Yeah. Oh wait, no, you did play that because you were the dad with the camera. You walked along watching your family. Oh man, I forgot. That is effed up.
Yeah, it's really bad. But no, like when I heard, and again, I don't want to say like, oh, I only play Call of Duty for sick moments, but like for them to give a shit about the story again that much.
I mean,
did you focus on just multiplayer?
Did you play Infinite Warfare?
I did, and I didn't think it. Let me rephrase that. I played Infinite Warfare story mode. Yeah, and I wasn't upset by it, but I also at the same time wasn't like best in the series. I was like, this is fun. But I mean, that's literally all I did. I played that, and I played one game of multiplayer. I'm like, yeah, it's just still Call of Duty multiplayer. Fuck this. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I pretty much only play them for the campaigns. I didn't play. I played all the campaigns, at least that were on PlayStation. I remember I even played Call of Duty 3's campaign on the Wii because.
Oh my god.
Oh, I hate the Wii so much. That was the one time I took a break from gaming for a while because we got a Wii, and I was like, yeah, this is great. We got Smash Brothers, and we got Mario Kart, and we got Super Mario Galaxy. And that's it.
That's about it, right? So is that what happened? So, like, you had PS2, and like you had told us already, you had never gone Xbox. So you had PS2.
Yeah.
Did you ever get a GameCube?
No. No. In retrospect, I kind of wish I had, because I think Wind Waker looks awesome. I think Luigi's Mansion looks awesome. I wish they would re-release those on Switch, because I finally got a Switch after the Wii. I was like, I'm not messing with Nintendo. And also, I had a Game Boy Advance SP, which was awesome. And then about a year and a half later, they released the DS, and they put 2 bullets in the back of the Game Boy Advance's skull, and they were like,
that thing was dead.
The Game Boy has like the Game Boy brand is over. We are now double screen. And I was like, I'm not getting a double screen. You guys. You guys killed me, and I didn't get a DS until I got a 3DS like last year for Prime Day, and I regret it. I wish I had gotten the 2DS, the new 2DS.
Right, 2DS XL.
Yeah,
2DS XL. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only time I felt jaded about the whole handheld shit, I had an SP. And I was like, this is awesome. No, I had OG Game Boy Advance. I bought off one of my buddy's little brothers because he got an SP, and I remember like, this is cool. But then the SP came out, and it was like 1,000 times better because it had a chargeable battery and backlit screen, and I was just like, fuck, this is not good anymore. But then I worked at the video game store when the DS came out, and I was so fucking pumped for it. Got a DS day one. Of course, games were fucking trash, and like they just weren't there. But of course, I played advanced games, so I was like, cool, I can still play all my advanced stuff.
Yeah.
And then I remember when Mario Kart came out for DS, I bought my girlfriend at the time, now wife, the Mario Kart DS. Now, the thing is, reminder, this is all the old school DS, the very first one, which is fucking butt. It's terrible.
Is that the one? Does it look like the SNES?
It's big as fuck. It's big as fuck. It's like, no, like it was a nice port of a DS. It was like better. It was slightly less than the GameCube version. Like it was like 64 quality style. Like it was a good Mario Kart, right? Like I'm not shitting on that Mario Kart. It was great. It was online, which people were like, "Holy fucking shit, this is crazy. This is online."
Is that the one that if you bought, you like anybody else could play it?
Yeah, like 8 people can play off one. It was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
The problem is that original DS, not the Lite, the original DS is a piece of shit. It
Oh,
is
the
not.
original. Oh yeah,
Yeah, I had the fat DS, and then
yeah,
about a year, 2 year, whatever later, they came out with the DS Lite, which was
yeah.
better in every fucking way. Giant
Except
screen, brighter
except for
screen.
except for the hinge, which I remember. I used to watch G4, and I remember there was an episode of Attack of the Show where he's like, "Look, it's the DS Lite," and he goes and he rips the top part off.
But I mean, like everything else about it, minus the hinge. But by the way, the hinge on the other one wasn't spectacular either.
Yeah, no, it was a big gag. It was like that was like I was like, oh, it's shocking that like G4 didn't last when like they let people do like that crazy shit on shows.
Break
They gave him like a
$150
brand new
console.
DS Lite and it ripped it in half.
Right? No, but like I remember being so jaded by that. Like so fucking upset because like
I
everything was better and I just stopped. I didn't get a DS Lite. I stopped completely until my kids were like older and they got a 3DS and I was like, yeah, this is cool. Like, you know what
it's
I mean?
great.
I guess I'll
Kids,
play
yeah,
this.
like it, but like I was even upset when they came out with the Game Boy Advance SP Lite, which had two backlit lights, so the screen looked even better than the basic Game Boy Advance.
Right.
I was like, because my friend was like, check this out. He flipped it up. I was like, oh, it's like way brighter. I was like, oh, that's my piece of crap now, and I don't really want to play this anymore.
Right?
But
It's just it's crazy how like Nintendo with those consoles handhelds, I'm just like, man, you fuckers, dude. You come out with just a new one next year and make ours look like dog shit. Like these just look bad.
yeah,
But it's okay. I mean, again, I get what they're doing. And again, it's funny because there's all these rumors of like Switch Lite, and I'm like,
those
of
are
course there
getting
are. Why the
pretty
fuck
heavy
wouldn't there
rumors.
be?
Yeah, it is upsetting. I was like, I just got a Switch like
Right?
a year and a half ago, and you're already like, no, we're done. We're making another one. And I was like, that's part of the. I have like a hate relationship with Nintendo. But
Yeah,
it's like,
I mean,
like their software catalog is like nearly impeccable though. So that's the thing.
right. I mean, and unfortunately, when they got to Wii, then they started catering. I'm not going to say it's bad because obviously it made them a fuck ton of money, but like they
yeah.
started catering to everybody.
Yeah, that's what made me walk away from games.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, yeah, We Fit Plus, and I was like, oh yeah, this isn't fun.
Right. Oh my god. So you didn't get GameCube. You only had PS2 during that generation.
Yeah,
and then you
I played PS2 for a long time.
Right. Well, I mean, it was a good amount of time for 4 years, 5 years, something like that.
I mean, it was we got a Wii in 2008. After
and
my
what
mom tried
prompted
it
the
out,
Wii? Just because like everybody and their mother had one.
my mom tried it out when we stayed at like we did an Airbnb type thing.
Right.
Whatever it was, I can't remember what it did. There was something before Airbnb, and that's what we did.
Right.
And they had a Wii there, and my mom played it, and she did bowling and tennis. She's like, "This is fun," and so we got one that Christmas. But like, I like the Wii, and then eventually, like, bro, did you ever play the Conduit for the Wii?
No, I've heard of the game, but I've never played it.
That was like my favorite Wii game. It was like a first-person shooter on the Wii, and it was like weird because it was like aliens attacking Washington D.C.
Of course it was. Why wouldn't it be?
It was dumb, but it was like you had like an orb that like unlocked doors, and it was like the Illuminati. It's a weird game. It's a weird game.
I remember hearing about it and people like talking about it. I want to say positively, or it was just one of those like, this is a first person shooter on the Wii. Because again, like it's funny because like the Wii had a resurrection of like on rails shooters. So like,
yeah, absolutely.
Because
like Dead Space Extraction.
Yeah, the House of the Dead's like came back like because it was literally light gun. It was a light gun in your hand.
Yeah,
it was perfect.
Kind of though you moved around, but it was.
Did you aim though, pointing the controller at the screen?
Yeah, of course you did.
God damn it, that's so terrible.
What else? Yeah, it's terrible.
That's so terrible.
But I remember because I watched the Nintendo E3 thing, and Reggie came out, and before he was like, "Now, if you guys are like me, you like good action or like something in your game, like really, like I love like these kid games, but I need like the action." And then they showed off the Conduit, and it was this Unreal Super. I remember him introducing it like vaguely. It was like real games, and it was before I really knew who Reggie was, and he'd already been relevant for so long. But I just remember, this big guy, he likes he likes action harder games on Nintendo. Oh,
Right.
I can believe that. It's like, no, dude, he just wants to sell you games.
Yeah, of course. He's going to go up there. He's a salesperson, by the way. He's trying to sell everybody in this room to buy his shit and nobody else's.
Yeah, just like, oh man. But yeah, the Wii, I eventually got tired of it, and I took a break, and I got a Mac. I got a laptop to help with school.
Oh, nice.
And but it was MacBook, and so I got a couple games to play on that, and that was actually where, because this was 2010. I got my MacBook, and I was a sophomore in high school, and I downloaded 2 games for the Mac App Store. I downloaded BioShock, and I downloaded Borderlands.
Both great games.
And I beat both of them, and I was like, man, I should really be playing these on a console, because this is not good. Like I'm downgrading the settings like all the way. There's
right.
Shadows or anything.
Well, you could have just played them on Wii. Oh, wait.
No.
I know.
so like after begging and after putting up a good, like doing well in school, my parents eventually broke, and they bought me a PS3 in 2011. And yeah, I know it was 2011, like way late. That's why I said I played the PS2 for a long time.
But again, I mean, so it's so funny because when people come on the show, they mention consoles and they're like, "Yeah, I know, I got it late." I'm like, "No." Here's the thing. To be honest, when you get it late,
you get a bunch of great games.
You get a bunch of shit already. You don't have to go through the fucking trials and tribulations of waiting for bullshit and dealing with old dashboards before they made them awesome. And like, you know what I mean? Like, go look at a 360 dashboard when it first came out, and then look at the 360 dashboard at the end of its life cycle. It's completely fucking different. And dude, imagine like, yeah, we got to play it early, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's like better or anything. Yeah. Like, you know, also you get to play the game after it's patched and fixed completely.
Exactly.
We had to deal with bullshit when it first came out. Like, don't ever say, like, oh, I got it late. No, dude, fuck that. If you got it late, who cares? You get the best. Dude, you get an Xbox Sat Edition, you're getting it way late, but you're going to get the best of every part of that shit.
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking of doing it. But the what it was, because I loved Naughty Dog because of the Jack trilogy on PS2. Those games are great. I mean, a lot of people hate 2 and 3. They're like, it's way different. But it's like, I love that. It was like Grand Theft Auto for kids, kind of. Because, like, you had, like, the gliders, and then, I mean, the fact that they changed this game about, like an elf dude and his, like, furry pet, and the next game they have, like, guns, and, like, they're in the future. It's like, everyone's like, what the hell did they do?
Did that do another, like, E for everybody move and then go to teen? I think it did.
Because
like I remember the first one being very cutesy, and then like 2 was like, fuck that.
No
good guns. You know what it is?
Because they gave a voice in the second one. He didn't have a voice in the first one, and then the first thing he says, like in the second one, because he gets experimented on. He's like, "See, I'm gonna kick the Baron's ass." And Dexter's like, "Oh, you can talk now." It's like,
that's so awesome.
Yeah,
I'm thinking. Yeah, so like. Again, the first one, it was just like, hey, we're cool. And then second one's literally, they went to teen rating. That's so fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Like, you know what it is? I'm not kidding you. Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, that's absolutely what it was.
It literally, like, after Grand Theft Auto, fucking ultra-violent video games. Back in the day, like Mortal Kombat and shit, like, that made people enticed to play a game. Like, oh, it's mature rated. I want to play a game now. But, like, when Grand Theft Auto 3 happened, everyone and their fucking mother was like, we need to make our shit edgy and like more adult, and like all these games, like you said, went from like basic. Of course, Tony Hawk didn't have any fucking guns in it, but it went more like crude humor.
They made the Matt Hoffman game, and that literally had a mode in it where you could. It was a first-person shooter, and you fought like a giant
Christ.
That was a thing in Matt Hoffman's Pro BMX too. And
Lord.
No one in their right mind knows why.
Right. But no, yeah, Jack 2, I remember the cover was all dark, and 3, they both went teen. And also, by the way, Jack on the cover of both of those games has the biggest fucking gun you've ever seen in your life.
I love it. It's so good.
Jack 1, he's just on there, Jack and Dexter, cross-armed, got all 4 full of attitude. Jack 2, fucking giant shotgun.
Oh, man, dude. Like, I love those games. Those characters are so good.
Oh,
and
they're good.
Like,
Absolutely.
like in 3, where it's like Mad Max. He's like exiled from the city to like the desert, and
Right.
then like it's this whole thing where he's always wondered like where he came from, because like the second was all like time traveling. It wasn't actually the future; it was actually the past, because he met his young version of himself.
Right.
Like, and people forget, like, there's a great story in the Jack games, but I'm just
Naughty Dog was going back and forth between that and Sly Cooper. No, they never did.
They weren't.
Sucker Punch.
That was Sucker Punch.
Yeah, but they were back to back. Like, I remember those games coming out like every other year.
Yeah.
Like, bam, Jack, Sly, Jack, Sly, Jack, Sly. Like, they kept coming out like crazy.
Yeah. So, but like it's spoilers for like for the end of Jack 3, where they reveal that the precursors that everyone's talked about throughout the all 3 games, like the people who came before, the smart, brilliant ones, they were Otzels. They were the things that Daxter was.
Right.
So when he was touched by the Dark Eco, he didn't actually, like, they thought he was like cursed or whatever, but no, he was blessed, and he was turned into a precursor. And so like it was literally like, it was like the Wizard of Oz, where it's like the man behind the curtain is like these like orange rats. It was, oh man, that game was so good. And so like,
and it sucks too, because like I remember they never came out with the Jack 4. They had a Daxter game only.
They did Daxter. They technically did do a Jack 4, but everyone forgets about it because Naughty Dog didn't make it, and from all accounts, it's terrible.
Is it the Lost Frontier?
Yes, that is the game, and it was on PS2 and I think PSP.
Yep, you're right. And it was made by High Impact Games, which is not Naughty Dog.
Yeah, exactly.
And that game got bogus ass reviews.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
I'm
it's a different voice actor for Jack, I think. Yeah, it's like, yeah, but see, that's what but I would associate that game with the Naughty Dog logo, because it'd spin up and Daxter would slide across the top of it. So when those guys come out and they're like, "Hey, we're making like this Indiana Jones style game," and my brother gets a PS3 when he's in college, and he brings it home and he says, "You gotta check this game out," and he puts it in, and I'm just like, "Whoa, look at the water on his jeans. It's staying on there."
That's the kind of next gen shit back in the day where you're like, yo, his jeans are wet where the water was, bro. Look at this. This is next gen.
And this was like 2007.
Right.
So like for 4 years after like my brother got like all 3 Uncharted games, and after Uncharted 3 came out, I was like begging my parents. I was like, I need this. So that's when I got they gave me a PS3, and then my brothers together, they bought me the Uncharted trilogy and the Resistance trilogy. And oh man, dude, talk about an underrated like shooter series. Like Resistance is great. The 3 alone is probably like one of the best like stories in first person shooters. It's so dark because it's it's basically like aliens have like F the Earth, a new one, and like it's like Mad Max with aliens. It's weird, but that game's great because it's like a cross road trip, kind of like Last of Us. But man, see, that's my thing with games. Like gameplay is important for a lot of people, but I need gameplay plus a good story. So that's why like I'm attracted. Like I never played the God of War games because I always thought Kratos was kind of a dick. But I played.
He kind of is.
He is.
He
but
kind of is.
2018 God of War, like, are you kidding me? It's like, It's like next level, because everyone was like, "Oh my god, they're making The Last of Us, but with God of War," and I was like, "Give that to me. That sounds amazing." And knowing kind of the vagueness of how like he killed his wife and daughter in the first game in a blind rage or whatever, it was like, oh, this is like really good. And yeah, I love God of War. I almost forgot. I was trying to remember what my game of year last year was. And I was like, oh yeah, that's what it is. But
what's funny is like I remember Greg Miller from Kind of Funny, how he would just shit on God of War. He's like, Kratos is a fucking stupid character.
He's a dick.
He's just dumb. No one likes him. And then this one, he's like, holy shit. I'm like, yeah. And what's funny is like I personally
overhype it. You?
No. Like, it's a great game, and it's got a good story, and it's got great gameplay, and the characters and the details, and like all this shit's great, right? Here's my thing: I personally don't like mythology in any fucking way. Like all of the orcs and elves and dragons and gods and like Greek.
Yeah, like,
none of that shit I care about. So
it's kind of a big part of it, yeah.
So like I'm playing it and I'm like, yeah, blah, 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 Greek gods, who gives a fuck, blah, 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 whatever. Like, I really didn't give a shit about the set, like the timepiece, right? Now, for me, I liked Spider-Man better than God of War only because the gameplay was so fucking good and the story was good.
That story was incredible.
And I was like, I like Spider-Man better than God of War. And people are like, you're fucking crazy. I'm like, no, I am not saying God of War is bad.
People need to chill.
Like, that's why Horizon piqued my interest so fucking hard. I was like, robot dinosaurs. Those two things don't make sense. How does that work? And then when you find out it's like a sci-fi game, I'm like, because I'm way more into sci-fi than anything. I'm like, yes, please tell me more. And I love the shit out of Horizon. That's was a fantastic game.
That's like, yeah, I'm way more of a sci-fi guy than a fantasy guy. And so that's why, like, I played Skyrim, and, eventually, if you play Skyrim long enough on PS3.
Oh, yeah, also, by the way, you played on PS3.
If you play it long enough on PS3, it eventually craps out, and you can't play
Did it run? Did it just explode?
Like, it was, like, freezing, like, all the time, and it was, like, so I'd have to reset it. And it was similar with the Fallout games, but I played the Fallout games, and I was able to Platinum 3, and I got all the trophies except for survival difficulty for New Vegas. And I love those games.
Same thing. Like, I played Skyrim, and I'm like, I'm over dragons and shit. Like, I don't like at the E3 press conference for Bethesda, when they were like, "Yeah, put more dragons and things. That makes it better, right?" I'm like, "No, it fucking doesn't. It really doesn't. I don't give a fuck about any dragons in video games. Don't do it, please."
I would try to complete like all the side quests in Skyrim before the first mission where the dragon shows up, because I hated when I'm in this little village and I'm talking to the characters, I'm getting this good story, and all of a sudden a dragon shows up and it burns everything. And I'm like, how is this fun? This is just like ruining my side quests. Like, they're like, oh, it's a dragon. And it's like, I downloaded the Old Dawn Guard DLC, with the one that has vampires. And it does the same thing where vampires start showing up and killing people. And I was like, God. So I uninstalled the Dawn Guard DLC. I was like, I'm not ready to play you yet. I'll play all these other things, and then I'll install. It was just like, it was just such a complicated. I started and restarted Skyrim so many times that I was like, I'm over it. I have no interest.
People made a big fucking deal about it. So I was like, all right, I'll play this. And again, the whole time period and shit, I was like, I just don't care. I don't give a shit about this or Lord of the Rings or Game of Thrones.
I love Lord of the Rings.
Oh no, again, people.
But
do. It's just the time that for me, that time period just I lose interest almost instantly. I'm just like, I'm good. I promise you, I don't care about this. And again, as soon as Fallout, I was like, well, same people, but Fallout's post-apocalyptic, which is better, and it has guns, which are far better than staffs and shit. I was like, yeah, let me do that. And like I said, Fallout's great. I love Fallout, but then when they're talking about the next Elder Scrolls game at E3, I'm like, hard pass. Go ahead, guys. You have fun with that. I'm just going to stick with Fallout. But also, too, don't make Fallout 76 because no one fucking asked for that. But now people like 76. Apparently it's good. Apparently.
Wait. Oh, yeah. Sorry, my headphones came on.
No, you're fine. I was just saying a bunch of bullshit about how Skyrim sucks and Fallout's better. That's all.
Okay.
That's all you needed to know. Which
as long as you didn't hear me cutting in and out. That's
Oh no, you're fine, dude. You're fine. Don't worry about it. You had a PS3 and a Wii. And it's so funny when you mentioned Skyrim freezing, because on a previous episode, one of the guys said he thought Skyrim was breaking his PS3 because it was just so fucked up on PlayStation. So bad. Oh my god. So
but it was similar. New Vegas was almost worse.
God.
You had to because there's a thing there's a game breaking bug where if you wear a certain hat onto the strip during a certain time, the game just freezes. That's over. Yeah, and you have to reload an earlier save.
I got so mad and I got so disappointed in my son. So my son loves Fallout 4, right? And
Fallout 4. So good.
Fallout 4 is great. The one part I hated, which is the part he loves, is the base building shit. I didn't.
Oh, it's terrible. I hate it.
It's so bad. But again, he grew up as a Minecraft kid, so he's
of course.
Base building, Fallout. Yeah, I'm down. So I remember him talking because I bought him 76 for his birthday. It's in November, and he played it. And then like the next day I go in his room and he's playing Fallout 4. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? You just got Fallout 76. And he looked at me, he's like, Dad, it's a bad game. I'm like, oh no. And he's like, yeah, it's just not good. He's like, it's really buggy. It's really bad. None of my friends bought it because they heard it was bad. Like, I just don't have anybody to play with. Like, I'm not happy with it. I'm like, well, I'm sorry, maybe it'll get better. And eventually it did. But then my son literally in the kitchen the other day was talking about how I was like, is it still buggy? He's like, yeah, but that's a Bethesda game. I'm like, no, that is not a fucking excuse. Like, stop saying that immediately. Like, dude, I hate when people give that company a pass. Like, oh, it's a Bethesda game. It's cool to have bugs that fucking crash the game and stuff.
Yeah.
It is not in any way cool for a game to just get a pass for it fucking sucking and not going through quality the right way. Like, real fast, Witcher 3 is a super complex game.
Oh my
big
God.
As fuck, and it doesn't crash left, right, and
It's
down.
so
Stop
good.
it. Like, when my son flat out said, but that's a Bethesda game, I was like, oh my God. Whoever told you that is not your friend.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
I will say Fallout 4 never glitched for me, pretty much, like, ever. So that, like, they took their time with that game. Because it was, 4 years in between?
Only the DLC did. It was Nuka World, and it was so fucking, like, frame rate was down to so bad.
Yeah,
and
Nuka World was pretty bad, yeah.
I actually, I beat all the DLCs, but when I got to Nuka World, I was like, no, I'm good. I'm done. I don't want to keep doing this anymore. And I just stopped.
Yeah, Nuka World is fun, because, like, some of those different things you explore are really fun, because there's, like, a magician that, like, actually disappears or whatever. Oh my God, that's weird. But he was obviously a ghoul magician.
Of course he was.
Yeah, the ghouls, such a clever character design.
But yeah, I didn't mind. Like I said, I did not play 3. I didn't play New Vegas, but I just played 4. And now I was like super happy. And I'm like, if another single player Fallout came out, that'd be cool. And I remember my son, when we were watching the Bethesda conference, my son fucking freaked out when he was like, human non-NPCs and story mode is actually like going to Fallout 76. He's like, holy shit, this is actually going to be a Fallout game now.
Yeah, and I'm interested because I have 76. I played it a bit, and I was just like, I hate this. It's like not my type of Fallout. There's people running around, and it's like empty. It's like, I like at least there being characters to talk to in settlements and stuff.
I literally asked him, I'm like, when they announced that and people fucking lost their mind, I'm like, are there really no human NPCs in Fallout 4 or like 76? He's like, no. Yeah. I'm like, that's so fucking weird. Why was that?
Yeah. But like, the dude coming up, fuck yeah, we put a battle royale in Fallout 76. And I was like, who are you?
Dude, my son, full on, he was like, I'm so down for that. I'm like, and again, now he's playing it, and I'm happy that he enjoys it.
That's great.
He was so bummed on his birthday. I was like, I'm sorry, kid. Just like,
I was bummed. I was going to play with friends. I was like, this is going to be perfect. We're going to do all the missions together. We're going to search places. We're going to get the unique weapons. Because that was one of my favorite things, was hunting for the unique weapons. Because they always hid them in specific places in Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas.
Right.
And then with Fallout 4, they had those again, but then they also had randomly generated unique weapons. And I was like, those are shitty. I don't want those. I want the ones that have unique mods that, like, there's like armor pieces that are hidden like near the top of the giant skyscraper in Boston that if you grab them, they're like hidden in the elevator shaft. You get them, they have no fall damage. So you can literally jump off of anywhere and...
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like the unique armor and unique weapons. That's like the hidden like meta game inside those games. I love that shit.
Right. Yeah, I bought it digitally, so in case I ever want to play it, I got it. But I'm just like, again, none of my friends tend to give a shit about it, so I'm just like, I'm good. At least my son is enjoying it. That's all I can. Like, I'm happy that he finally likes it and such. But dude, there was a good 4 months, 5 months. He was just like, I don't want this. Like, this is not a good game. So
it was disappointing. And they would put it like it's sold. Like, everyone's like, oh man, they really got screwed with those reviews. Like, it was one of the best selling games of last year. People did not see those reviews until too late. I didn't, because I was wowed by Todd Howard coming out and talking about it and the game looking gorgeous when they showed it off, and I was like, oh, like I remember my Apple Watch went off because my heart rate went high.
Holy shit!
It's a new Fallout. like happiness, like the dog was like happiness noises, like. But yeah, no, it's. I'm trying to think back, because because I'm rambling, I'm bouncing everywhere. If I had a PS3, got it 2011, and then so I had it for like 3 years before, like 2 years, less than 2 years before the PS4 came out, and I saved up in the summer of 2014. I got my PS4, and it was the first console I'd ever bought myself because I was like just out of high school. And it was my first job,
Nice.
Delivering papers, which was dumb.
Do what you gotta do, man. You gotta.
Yeah, heck yeah. I work at an auto parts store. I work retail, so it's like you just do what you do.
Right.
But but yeah. But what was great was with what released with PS4. It was like Black Flag came out. I love the Assassin's
Killzone, Knack. Yeah, those PlayStation
Knack.
Classics.
Yeah, but I liked Shadowfall because I actually love the Killzone games. I thought they're fun. One is terrible. Don't ever touch it. But 2 and 3 have great stories. Like 3 is kind of bonkers, but like the two story was really fun. That was kind of, they like tried to be like PlayStation's Halo, but they like weren't, obviously. But the whole was like almost like space Nazis almost. It's kind of weird because they were like, I don't know. I like Killzone, but yeah.
The only thing that bummed me out about Killzone was, did you ever see for PS2 or PS3 the Killzone 2 like tech demo that they showed?
Oh my god, that was so criminal.
Looked so
incredible.
Good.
It was a lie.
It was a fucking big lie. Like a really, really, really big lie.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, dude, you can't do this. This is fucked up, man. So that's the idea that threw me off. I got the PS2 or PS4, sorry, as like a bundle that came with Killzone and Knack, and my son played both, and he's like, my son's like younger at the time. He's just like, what was it, 5 years ago? He was 8, 9, something like that. He's like,
6, yeah.
Yeah, he's like, Knack's fun. I'm like, yeah, you would like Knack because you're not. Like,
I beat Knack, and I was like, this is great. And then I was like, in retrospect, I'm like, no, it was not.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't.
No,
And they
it was
came out
not.
with Knack 2, which nobody fought. It was a joke. Like, everyone's like, nah, Knack 2's not.
I played the demo for Knack 2 because I was like, oh, I just got to see this. And I was like, oh, this is still terrible.
I bought Knack 2 for my kid for Christmas because, like, again, he liked the first one and he mentioned it. So
great.
I bought it for him for Christmas, and here's how awesome it is. He has not once asked to play it. Like, at all. He's just like, there's so many other games now he gives a shit about. He's just like, I don't care about any of those right now. I'm like, yeah, no, that makes sense. Oh, that Killzone, dude, that just fucking triggered me. That Killzone lie. That big Killzone. I remember looking at that going, holy shit.
Well,
this is insane. And it never was real. Ever.
No. But like, what's interesting was like, then like when they announced the PS4,
right?
Like one of the first games they showed was Shadowfall, and that game looked like that game that they showed.
It did, yeah. Because I think
gorgeous.
they learned like, do not fuck us like that again, because like you're just gonna make everybody really mad, dude. It's so bad. Like it's such a bad comparison. It's like worse than like Puddles in Spider-Man, Watch Dogs, Rain. It's worse than all of those combined.
Yeah, it was really bad. I was gonna say Watch Dogs. Yeah, it was the next thing. But
Watch Dogs, Rain. I remember people were like, "Oh, this game looks good," and then it came out and it wasn't. But then like people bitched about Puddles and Spider-Man. Shut the fuck up. That game, like,
I actually love Watch Dogs. I think that game is great.
No. I'm a big fan of. Let me rephrase that. It completely did the Assassin's Creed model.
Yes.
Here's 1, which is okay, and it proves a point. Here's 2, which is fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's way better.
Like, way better. And Legion, I was like, yup, I can get with that. That was awesome.
I'm not sure about Legion, because, like, I love the Assassin's Creed games, and I do like Origins and Odyssey, but they're so different from the older ones where it's more, they're definitely more like games as a service, but like single-player games as a service.
Well, I mean, they're just more taking like the wider RPG instead of the action part. Like,
they're definitely
Assassin's Creed was definitely an action game, and then it turned into a full-on fucking RPG.
Yeah, that's what I don't like as much.
I think honestly, I think when Witcher happened,
it's absolutely a Witcher clone. It literally has like the question marks, just like The Witcher did.
I think Witcher came out and kind of was like, "Hey, people want this type of game. Let's just take this franchise, plug it in. We're good." But no, Legion.
Witcher's incredible.
Witcher's great. Legion though, like when I heard the whole like play as anybody and you saw the fucking grandma whooping ass, I was like,
it's interesting.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I can get with that. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm just like, it's weird because like I like upgrading the character.
Is she on the couch? Oh,
yeah.
So you ended up getting a Switch though.
I did get a Switch because I waited until Super Mario Odyssey came out.
Which is fair. I mean, although I'll say, like, Switch literally launched with one of the best launch games.
I don't like it. It's
really
not
long time.
I don't like it. It's empty. I don't like it.
Dude, my son has played 240 hours.
That's great. It's amazing what it can do with that engine. Like.
Right,
the physics and stuff. It's incredible, but like I need a story.
Get her off the couch, please.
I'm like the opposite. Robert's like, it lets you do whatever you want, and I was like,
no, but then it gets too big, and you're like, no, give me a direction, give me somewhere to go.
Like if a game is letting me do like whatever I want, it's like let me go outside. That's what I want to do. Like
right, exactly.
I want like a direction in the game because I want the developers to like tell me a story and
right.
But like the exception rule is Odyssey. Because Odyssey is just fun. Like I just smile on my face the entire time playing that.
I did too. By the way, I won't spoil it for anybody who hasn't beaten it. That final stage, I was fucking giggling like a girl. I was like, "This is amazing. This is so good."
Oh, like the one where you
Bowser. And
okay, yeah. Yes. Oh, that's great.
It's so fun. I was like, no fucking way, dude. Like, let's go.
Like a K-pop song starts playing or whatever. It's like this is just fun. I was like, you guys are just having a good time. Because, like, he throws the hat and it lands on him. Like, are we doing this? Oh, we're doing this.
Dude, this is so good. Like, I like how, like, and again, like, the Switch is, I have a Switch, which is literally my Nintendo machine. I don't own anything else for it. If it's on another console, I play it on another console. Also, at the same time, I don't travel. I don't take it with me. 95% of the time I've played my Switch has been docked, like, with a Pro controller. Like, I just don't travel that much. I work from home. Like, I don't leave for my job. I don't have a commute.
Yeah.
I don't travel often. When I do travel, I play it, and it's fun there. But at the same time, I'm like, what Nintendo-only games are coming out for this shit? I literally have, like,
I live,
Odyssey,
like, 10 minutes away from where I work. So, yeah, it's, like, the same thing.
Right. I have, like, Odyssey, Breath of the Wild, Smash, Mario Tennis, Mario Kart. Like, take your Nintendo franchises, put them on that shit. PlayStation, that's how it is for me. Like, Xbox is where I play everything. My PS4 is, like, all Sony franchises. Let's go there. Like,
yeah.
But again, I think now, especially now, I would say it's considerably a great console now.
Yeah.
Even when Odyssey came out, I was like, there's 3 games that are, Breath of the Wild, Mario Kart, Odyssey. Those are good.
Yeah, like Mario,
They just need to, you know what they need to do is quit fucking around and put SNES on the goddamn online service, please. Because, like,
I haven't even bought the online service because I just don't have. I'm not huge into those old school games. I mean, I bought an NES and SNES Classic when they came back and weren't overpriced on eBay because I knew it was like, oh, they sold out of them. They're going to come back, and eventually they came back. It was like, oh, we found some more in the back of the
We found some more. We found a whole fucking warehouse of them. We forgot about. We wrote that off the book. Man, yeah, no, I the online for the Nintendo I felt bad for because my daughter was playing Splatoon 2, and up until they announced, because like it was free online until they basically flipped the switch, and my daughter came up, she's like, why is it asking me to sign up? I'm like,
those tweets that came out from with screenshots of Splatoon 2 right before that was happening was like all these people, because like I've never played Splatoon, but they have the messages what people can write, and it's this side message like, I guess it won't be here anymore, can't afford the online.
Yeah, exactly. Out of all things, by the way, that online is so cheap. It's like $30 for a family of like 10 or something for a year. It's fucking so cheap. It's not that bad, but I mean,
But,
again,
like,
when you're used to
I don't-
free,
I don't really play any of those games online. I think I would maybe play Smash. The other thing is like the Switch is like signal connection to Wi-Fi.
oh, yeah, it's not that. It's not. It's not
terrible.
No, it's not that great.
It's like
Nintendo hasn't really thought
more
about
than
the internet
15
very
feet
often.
away from a router. It's like, nah, is there a router there? I don't think so.
Right, exactly. So you're at the point now where you have a Switch, you have a PS4, you're playing, you're buying your own things and stuff. I had previewed this question to you before. Well, a lot of the times, people buy games and they're a disappointment, especially when you spend money on your own of your own money to buy your own game. What is the worst game you have bought with your own money?
Oh, I've been thinking about it. It's hard to say.
Even if it's a recent game, because one dude said Anthem, and I'm like, I'm not going to get mad about that.
I didn't buy Anthem because I played the tech demo and I was like,
me too. Ugh,
I was like, I don't like this.
Yeah,
well, it was like, felt like this. I would say, honestly, it's more of a game that like isn't bad. It's more a game that I regret buying because I know like I'm never gonna play it. Is like buying like the newest expansion for Destiny, or I bought Ghost Recon Wildlands, and it's like I'm never gonna play this. It's like massive.
Yeah, Ghost Recon. Here's the thing. I remember Ghost Recon Wildlands. Like seeing a kind of funny Let's Play with all of them playing it looked amazing. I was like, holy shit! With like 4 people, this looks awesome. The problem is, I play a lot of games without other people just because of like my work schedule, their work schedule, my buddies and shit. Like I just don't play games with my friends as often as I would like. So I completely skipped that game only because I was like, this same thing with Division. I'm like, this won't be fun. It will be way less fun by myself, like considerably less fun. So I'm right there with you with the Wildlands stuff. Looked great. Looked like a cool game. They had that Sam Fisher mission that they added after. I was like, that's fucking awesome because that just wants me to have more Splinter Cell in my life. But yeah, I was like, it's all right though. I mean, it's like you said though, it's not a bad game, but it's literally a game you just wasted money on because you probably won't play it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I'm thinking on PS2. It has to be a piece of shit game that I got because I was like, this is great because it's like this. I'm thinking.
But also, when you're a kid, your expectations of games are fucking none because you're just a kid.
Yeah.
You're happy to have anything in your hands. And that's why I try to say, like, with your own money, because a lot of the times people, like, when you get a bad game when you're a kid, number one, you're a dumb kid and you don't realize what's good and bad. And then number two, a lot of the times you're not spending your own money to buy games. You get them as a gift, which people go, oh, that sucks. I got a bad game as a gift, but at least I didn't pay for it. My worst game, and it's funny you mention it, Destiny. I hated Destiny. I fucking hated it. And it was OG vanilla Destiny. A weekend, I was like, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. I got rid of it.
I was so in on vanilla Destiny. I was like, this is the future of gaming. And then I beat it, and I was like, this future is empty as hell.
Yes, it was so bad. And I was getting tired of Peter Dinklage telling me to fucking stay here while he does something.
It's like the worst voice acting ever. It's like,
he was like, get it, dude.
It's like he was asleep in a bathroom reading those lines. It was
exactly.
He's like, oh, it's a night. You gotta take it down for me while I hack this.
Like, were you taking a shit in between Game of Thrones sets? Like, were you in your fucking trailer doing this? Like, what are we doing right now? Like, I just was not a fan. But, some people really liked it a lot. But, yeah, it's fine. If people wanted to check you out on the internet, where would they go?
My Twitter handle, I can't even say that right, is Jacob Delio, which is my name, Jacob Deal, like D-E-A-L, with E-O, Delio, because it's dumb, but it's memorable. That's my Instagram username as well, I think. I occasionally post on there. Haven't in a couple months, but mostly people can add me on PSN. My username is JKetar, which is Jake. I came up with it when I was 14, and they didn't let me change my name, and now I'm just settled with it. It's Jake plus Keytar, the instrument.
Gotcha.
It's JAKEYTAR. And then you can also add me on Switch. I don't have online right now, though, so we can message each other maybe. I don't think so, though.
Yeah, maybe one day when Nintendo gets their online shit together. Maybe the next upgraded Wii or Switch will have, like, good internet, AC wireless possibly, We'll see
my Mickey Mouse fingers are crossed.
Yeah, exactly. Well, dude, thank you so much for being on the show. Thank you for sharing all your stories with me, man. I do appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, and again, thank you, Jake, for being on the show. Guys, if you want to check him out on Twitter, go ahead and follow him at Jacob Delio. Of course, I will also have links on the show notes, so you can go ahead and check him out there. Again, if you guys want to be on the show, just like Jake was, go ahead and send me a tweet at MitchPower1116 on Twitter, or at the podcast Twitter page, which is at gugpodcast.com. We also have the Facebook group. You can just search up Growing Up Gaming there. YouTube on there, just search up GUG Podcast, and the website gugpodcast.com. Again, apologize for any sort of audio delays, issues, I should say, not delays. I am definitely getting it worked on, figuring out what's wrong. That software, for whatever reason, just decided to change on me, and we all know how Skype and software goes. So again, thank you guys so much for returning each and every month to the show. Again, don't forget to share the show with friends, review it on iTunes or your preferred platform, and I will catch you guys next month with another new episode. See ya.